So hello everyone, today I'm gonna talk about the Juju shortbow and my opinion about it with some dungeon setups for newer player in dungeon. So the Juju shortbow is considered one of the best mid-game DPS weapons, considering its stats, which aren't that bad. It's a great source of DPS for mid-game players. If you want to play Berserk, people will say buy a Juju. If you want to play Archer, well, people will say buy a Juju. And if you want, I don't know, to run Bestiary maybe? I don't know, maybe people will say buy a Juju. But yeah, okay, it's a pretty cool cheap bow with cool DPS, I guess. Know why I hate the Juju and a lot. The Juju shortbow require a voidgloom level 5 in Slayer nowadays, but before it was 3, but yeah, now it's 5. And mid-game player usually buy carries to access to the Juju shortbow. Voidgloom Slayer are not as easy as Wolf of Tarantula, but with the right gear and a little bit of practice, you can do tier 4 Voidgloom with a Vorpal Katana, which is not hard, not that hard. I mean, I'm not talking about a skill level 50 with 10 billion net worth, but a mid-game player with less than 1 billion coin to work with. The issue with bearing carries is that it's entirely skipped the progression, and because of that, a lot of people, not mid-game but early game, use the Juju since it's recommended by almost everyone for its good DPS. But it's not that great because you're an early game player and you don't know anything about the game. The Juju itself is not the problem, but the requirements to make the Juju viable are. It's like a mini version of the Terminator. Well, it is, but it only shoots one arrow, and it doesn't have your crit chance by 4, which is good, I guess, and enough for normal floor. But fuck, the clearing power of this weapon is bad, is really bad. But what do I mean by bad? Like, since the Berserker update, Pure Burst is one of the best class to clear. Like clearing, I mean, and not DPS. And the Juju has never been a good clearing weapon, beside for Archer with bouncy arrows, but the arrow can be annoying to feel. For all classes, there is a best in slot clearing weapon. Maybe for tank and healer, um, it's a different story, but I try to cover them as well. A little disclaimer, for some classes like Berserk, maybe Tank, I will recommend you to buy a Juju shortbow as well as another weapon. Not as a source of clearing weapon, but as a source of DPS. So like a Duplex 1, Overload 5, Juju, like Power 6 works. It doesn't cost that much, it's got like what, 35, 40 million coins? You will need to have one. For Berserks, one of the most liked class by newer player, best in slot weapon is the Dark Claymore. But since it requires an M7 comp, a mid-game player or an early game player doesn't have access to that. So the second best in slot weapon is not the Giant Sword. The second best in slot is actually the Felthorn. Why, you may ask? The swing range. The swing range is OP. I link a YouTube video in the description that explains why, and I tested myself at a low catacomb, and it's remarkably powerful for the clearing. Shadow Fury can be an option as well since it has good speed and good damage stats, but it doesn't have swing range, which makes the Felson better. Bouquet is also an option because the clearing is very good, but the Felson it's just better, and you have a lower floor requirement. For Archer, well, Archer it's special because you need to use a bow. You don't really have an option here. The only option is the Terminator. Let me explain why. You should not really play Archer at low net worth, since other bow are kinda garbage for clearing, and even Terminator get outclassed by Berserker or Mage. Stick to Archer and Juju if you really want to play Archer. But little reminder, don't be a Juju non. I might make an Ultra guide in the future to improve damage, clearance, survivability, and hope to survive. But you will need to wait like maybe a week or two. I don't know. For Mage, the best weapon is not the Hyperion. My probably next video will be about that, about the Hyperion. But for Mage, the best weapon is the Spirit Scepter. The Spirit Scepter does not cost 1.7 billion coin and have the same explosion radius of a Hyperion. In normal floor with speed, the Spirit Scepter is better than Hyperion. The clearing is better because you don't have the head snap that you have with the Hyperion and the TP. And for killing mini bosses, you should use an LCM weapon, like an Aspect Dragon, or any sword, like a Midas sword, a Shadow Fury, a Yeti sword, a Pigman sword, I don't know, just choose whatever you want and whatever works, or what you like, you prefer. Like, even a Livid Dagger would work because of the attack speed, which is, I think, good with LCM. I'm gonna do a mage kit as well. I think it will be like an overall dungeon gear progression kit, other than a mage kit, an archer kit, a berserker kit. I'm just gonna do, yeah, an overall kit. I hope you guys liked the video. Um, if you want a conclusion, I just hate the Juju, and for clearing as berserk, buy a Felthorn.